Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Sports Affiliation Betting Collaboration. Thank you for being here. We have a wonderful show for you today. Going to be looking at NBA, NFL bets. Today we have a very special guest with us looking at. Thank you for coming, Coach Craig, man. How you doing?
Doing all right. Like I said, I want to jump on with you guys sometime before life got too busy, so this worked out pretty well.
Glad to have you on. Evan did well last night. We did well last night on our bets as well. And the group sharing some prize picks or parlay picks as well. Coach, make sure to give you your code at the end of the show. Go hop on that if you don't have it. Get free money. I mean, that's what it's all about. So if you want a code for anything else, just reach out to us. We're in several sports books across multiple states, multiple regions. So just reach out to us and we'll help you out with that. All right. Evan, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing good, man. Coming off week 9 opener last night. It was a good night, like you said. Happened to hey, you say bet smart and be lucky, and that interception at the end of the game covered quite a bit of what I had going on, man. Saved the under, brought the 11th interception, kept the Steelers at winning the game money line, the -2.5. So process was there, but it only took one play could have ruined the whole thing. So that's just kind of how it goes. But I'm good, man. Happy to have Coach here. It looks nice to have 3 people in the window here.
Yeah. I don't know if we can change the frame. Let's see if we do this. I'll still try to keep us moving. Yeah, there's some beautiful faces as well. Looking at it, yeah, we got a wonderful slate of NBA games today. We are going to, excuse me for popping out real quick. I kind of reached the schedule. We are going to have some NFL coverage as well. But, man, this is the first games of the in-season tournament. We got East A, East B, East B, East C, West B, West A. No, that's not talking about a jailhouse unit. We're talking about the in-season play there. And there's going to be some good games. Let me just read through them all real quick, guys. Then I'll shoot it over to you to Coach, then you, Evan, and we can kind of talk about our favorite NBA bet of the night. Okay, so just go ahead and take a look at that. But I'm going to read them real quick. These start at 7 p.m. Eastern, and they go as late as starting as 10 p.m. Eastern. All right. Cleveland at Indiana, New York at Milwaukee, Washington at Miami, Brooklyn at Chicago, Golden State at Oklahoma City, Dallas at Denver. That's the marquee ESPN game. And then Memphis at Portland. Okay, Coach, what is your favorite NBA bet tonight before we break down into all of them?
I don't know what I got for a favorite yet. I mean, I got like 10 different player props. I got a couple long shots for like double doubles and triple. I think there was one triple double long shot in there too as well. I got a couple money lines. The 2 money lines that I do like tonight the most are going to be the Cavs at -140 versus the Pacers. I think the Cavs should win pretty easy. They might get Darius Garland. They might get Jared Allen back tonight too. Pacers, Halliburton's still questionable. We'll see whether or not he plays either way. I kind of think there's a chance he misses. And if he misses, you want to get in at -140 right now before that line goes to like -220. So that looks pretty good. And then the other one that I got for money line is the Blazers at +135 versus the Grizzlies, who have been terrible this year. Like Blazers, they're missing a couple of guys. If Simon's missing and it's Scoot Henderson now. He hurt his ankle last time out, but he still got Brogdon to fill in that spot. And then they still got enough guys that can score the ball, and they should be able to beat the Grizzlies, who just look terrible at this point in time.
Yeah, they need a center in the worst way, don't they, man?
Tillman's not bad. It's just their team, I feel like they would have been better if they just kept Tyus Jones at point guard and rolled with that unit that had that camaraderie together. Then you throw Marcus Smart in here, and then when he tries to do too much, that's when your team falls apart.
Well, right. Steven Adams is such an underrated presence to what they can do defensively and on the boards that all that just falls apart too, So yeah, combo down low and a combo, in the front court that aren't doing what they did last year. And
Dylan Brooks did it with defense. Dylan Brooks defense, and then Steven Adams controlling defensive boards. Now they can push it into a half court game. They don't have that luxury at all.
Well, even if you want to talk about Adams real quick too, on the offensive end, they run a lot of pick and roll through him, and he's really good passer off those dribble handoffs and everything else like that too. So that's something you're missing in a big way too.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. They're in a state of transformation. Some were saying, what's the head coach over there at Memphis? Looks like he's a college coach almost.
Oh God, it's Taylor. Is it
Jenkins or
Taylor Jenkins? I think is that still who's the coach?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he was somewhere saying he was the coach of the year candidate last year. They're gonna have to get on it over there. Evan, what do you got for us tonight? Just your favorite or one of the ones you're really looking at that you like, man?
Man, I got a handful as well. I'm going to keep it in one game that we kind of just mentioned earlier together before we hopped on. Let's look at the Knicks and the Bucks, a nice Eastern Conference matchup to kick off this tournament. I don't know if the Bucks are going to maybe get up for this in-season tournament. Maybe that's what they were waiting for to turn it on. I don't think so, but man, the Knicks money line, it was on my book was plus 210 last night. It's at plus 180 now for the Knicks money line. I just think it's too good to pass up. This Knicks team likes to shoot the three ball. They're leading the league in rebounding. The Bucks are not good defensively on either one of those categories. So, I mean, that's what it is right there. Looking at those two things, they're big in the NBA. So when I see a team, you know, heavy in both those categories and they're getting plus, 200, they should be favored probably, but they're on the road. It's the Bucks. That's going to play a big role. But yeah, give me the Knicks money line. And speaking of that three ball, I like Quentin Grimes tonight. 38% last year from behind the arc. His line's at minus 1.5 threes made, so making 2 threes. It's negative 130. Listen, this guy's line for 1.5 threes was like minus 170 a couple games ago. But he's not making them, but he's taking 5 or 6 a game. He's only shooting 30% right now. But Milwaukee is, I believe, second worst in opponent three-point percentage. The looks will be there. So give me 2 threes from Quentin Grimes at negative 130. And then on that rebounding side of it, right, we'll stick to the same script. Let's go Mitchell Robinson. We've seen big guys dominate the boards against Milwaukee. He's averaging over 10 boards a game. His line's at 9.5. I like that. I thought it might be 10.5, a little risky there, but 9.5, negative 105. So I like Mitchell Robinson to control the boards, Grimes to hit a couple threes, and the Knicks to steal one on the road to open that exciting tournament.
Yeah, man, that's a pretty cool call. I don't know who the Bucks are right now. I can't figure it out, so I stayed away from them.
I don't think they know who they are at this point in time. New head coach, you got Dame and Giannis trying to figure out how to play together. Middleton's there sometimes, and he hasn't played over 17 minutes in a single game this year. You got Beasley that's new there. Jay Crowder was there a little bit last year, but these guys haven't played together. Some of them.
They have no perimeter defense right now without that identity, and I mean, mentioned this before, Lillard's great and he's a stud player, but there is a Drew Holiday factor on that team of chemistry, of what he brings to the defensive side, just everything that guy brought to the table. You're trying to replace that, A, what he did, B, like you said, we're a couple games in, just now playing together. So I would imagine Milwaukee figures it out with that lineup. And if Middleton can get past that point of playing, 17 minutes, but that's where they want him to be right now. And that's a big thing on both sides of the ball too. So
I don't know. They're just babying him so much because they need him. They're only as good as Middleton can be when they come to the playoff time. If you can get 26 good minutes out of him in the playoffs and they're good minutes, then they have a chance. Because even if you look back when they went into the playoffs and they won that year, look at the games they won and look at the games they lost. Giannis pretty much is going to play the same every single game. The games that Middleton played well, they won. The games that he didn't play well, they lost. It was pretty simple there.
Yeah, Middleton did have some good games that propelled them to that championship. I do remember that. I'm kind of going the opposite route of you guys. I mean, you can place a double unit on this. I just think Golden State's going to take care of Oklahoma City. Like I said, I think they're playing in rhythm. They're playing happy. They got Draymond back. Steph Curry's the leading point scorer in the league. CP3 still the number 3 in assists in the league. Looney's playing all right. He hasn't having to play all those minutes with Draymond back. And I just think that they should roll in and take care of OKC tonight. It's at negative 250, so if you want to take the 6.5 point spread, it's a little more risky in my opinion. But like I said, I feel pretty comfortable with the double unit on Golden State. They're 4-1. I think people kind of slept on them, kind of expected them to be in a major decline year. But let's be honest, this is the last year that we could have Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and Draymond Green together. And Drew Wiggins is still there. Kayvon Looney's still there. Kuminga's coming around. He's doing quite well with CP3 at the helm. I think they said CP3 is taking it under his goal. His goal is to make Kuminga a better player. And you can see Kuminga being way more aggressive on the boards. You can see him being more confident with the shot. So, I mean, their second unit is good. There's not a drop-off, which most people can't even name a lot of OKC second unit. So I think the Warriors have a good opportunity tonight to just get this. They've said that this in-play tournament means something to them, because they've already got a legacy, but they can kind of add to it because who knows what the in-season tournament could be. It could turn out to be like something really enjoyable 10 years down the road. And to be the first team to win it on top of being a 4-time NBA winner, I think they can see the future a little bit for what it is, and it's something they can do to add to their legacy. So I say they win this game tonight against OKC. Double unit, I'm okay with it. Coach, back to you. What else you got for us?
I was going to say, too, for that game, there is no SGA for OKC tonight, too. So that's a big factor. And even another guy you didn't mention on Golden State's bench that's playing really well, Dario Saric. They're getting good minutes out of him.
Yeah, Saric, yeah. Yeah, Sarge has been doing well. He just goes in and does the thing, gives them hard minutes, and then he's done.
I was looking at Saric. There wasn't a rebounding line for him, but he's gone in and just get 6 or 7 boards, no problem. Because Looney's the guy, right? I mean, 10.5. You're like, okay, he should dominate the boards. I played Looney, but I want to see what Saric was at, because I mean he's playing limited minutes and getting 6 or 7, no problem. So kind of get that lower number. I don't know if it's out yet or not, but.
Well, and they've been kind of looking for that stretch big for a while. They had Eric Paschall they tried to make at be it. They had Michael Green that's kind of been there in recent years too. And because then you can kind of play, Draymond as your kind of de facto center and then have the other guy spaced out. And that's really a good fit, I think, for them though.
Right. Yeah, Sarge still doesn't have one. Looney 10.5, Draymond 5.5. So.
But I mean, if we want to get back to that Knicks game real quick, I got like 2 in there. So I like Mitchell Robinson over 6.5 points. It was a -121. All my numbers come from BetUS, so they might be different from a couple different books, but he's hitting 3 out of the 5 games so far this season. If he gets some of those offensive rebounds, putbacks, real easy points right there. And then Julius Randle over 3.5 assists. It's at -141 right now, but he's hit over in 4 out of his 5 games this season. He's averaging just over 5. So he's been really involved assist-wise since he's not making his shots. So could be another factor once again tonight.
How many points do you see Mitchell Robinson scoring tonight, Coach? You think he hits 10?
I think he'd probably get like 9 or 10, but 6.5 seems pretty easy there too.
I was wondering,
I don't mind
what's his double line at?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to.
What is what at?
Double for Mitchell Robinson. I thought about that yesterday, but I didn't know 10 points. I see over 6.5. I don't know if he hits 10, but I'm playing that rebounding prop. We talked about that a lot last year, Iggy, right? If we're going to take those plays right there close to 10, look at that double prop.
Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah. And sometimes you're better off taking the points being 10 and the rebounds being 10 as opposed to the double. That's like one thing to always try to check too, especially like with some guys like Bam Adebayo, like his double is like at minus, but if you look at his rebounding prop today, it's at like -117. So it's like you might as well take some points with it and then make it a better double prop anyways.
There you go. I have Mitchell Robinson, and again, I use Fliff. I mean, I'm out in California, so my book's a little different than some people too. But +310 for a double on Mitchell Robinson. So
I got +330 right now as well. So yeah, not too bad on him. Julius Randle 140.
It's just Randall's been close to a triple-double like twice this year.
There's only been 5 triple-doubles this season. Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic have 4 of them. Scotty Barnes has the other.
Scotty Barnes, yeah.
Yeah. Randall, I think, was 1 assist shy versus the Hawks. And then LaMelo was 1 assist and 1 rebound away, I believe, on the same night.
Huh. Yeah.
We could see you could talk about this, Iggy. We could see 2 in the same game tonight.
Yeah, it's honestly one of my bets on Fantasy Alarm kind of breaks that down. I sent that over. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that here in a little bit, though. That's kind of still one of my favorite bets. I can still talk about it in a different form over here. So,
yeah, I know we talked about that OKC game too, so I'm just going to throw out a couple bets there. So Jalen Williams over 4.5 assists is at -122. He's hit that in 3 out of his 5 games this year. There is no Shai Gilgeous-Alexander tonight, averaging 4.2 assists on the season. So there is a good chance that he can get to 5 tonight. That's at -122 on BetUS. I'm trying to see what the other ones for that game were kind of long shot ones. So Jalen Williams double if you want to go that way. If you think he can get like 10 assists or 10 rebounds with his 10 points, it's at +665 right now, so that's pretty good odds.
Yeah.
If you just want to throw like a couple bucks on it and maybe it pays off, maybe it doesn't. And then the other one is Josh Giddey triple-double, which, He's had triple doubles without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the past. When you look at it compared to most young players, he's had more triple doubles per game. It was like he was averaging, I think, 19, one like per every 19 or 22 games or something like that. Last year when I was betting on him for the second half of the year to have like 2 or something like that. But he's at plus 6 or 764 for a triple double tonight, which he hasn't really shot the ball as well so far this year, but he's still been pretty involved in the boards and some of the assists. So, those are kind of long shot ones, but in that same game.
Yep. Man, yeah, no SGA. I can't believe the line's as close as it is. Yeah, get that double unit in on the Warriors, man. I don't know why that's like that. Yeah, Evan, what else you got for us tonight, man?
All right, I'll give one more there. I mentioned Kayvon Looney, who is over 10.5. I'm taking those rebounds as well. I think, he's just the dominant big man in that game. It's a good number. He's been a big key to that team. He's progressed nicely over the last few years. So I like that play. I also like Mikal Bridges' rebounds tonight. They're negative 165, but it's over 4.5 boards. He's averaging 6 on the season. He's hit that number 3 times. He had 4 in the other game. And talking about team rebounding, Chicago doesn't rebound the ball well. Brooklyn's been a good rebounding team to start the year. So, like I said, he's averaging 6 on the season. We need 5. I like that. Explains kind of the number being negative 165, but that's still a nice play. So, love that rebounding prop as well. And shout out as well to our sponsor, Better Vision. Just want to throw that in there, man. Appreciate Better Vision. Download the app. Get all your sports books, your fantasy lineups, everything you do, man, in one spot. It's on Apple right now, coming to Android soon, but I always say you don't got to minimize the tabs. Click over there, click over here, get everything put in one little folder. It's real nice to use. So remember that. Shout out Better Vision. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for being here with us. Yeah, you can just check it all out. I'm looking at multiple books right now as we're speaking. Yeah, kind of one of my favorite bets. You can do this. It's going to be hard, but it's a marquee game. And you heard me with the statistic. I mean, I don't know what the whole combination of games there have been across the NBA. Most teams have 4 games. Some have 5. Some have 6. Some have 3. But there's only been 5 triple doubles this season. And Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic have 4 of those. Okay, 2 apiece. They're playing tonight in a marquee game at Denver. Denver coming off a pretty big beat down of the Timberwolves, who I think are under discredited. I think that's a good, it was a playoff team last year. And then their second year kind of all being together. They should improve. But with that being said, yeah, I kind of just went into same game parlay mode. You can probably get a boost out there, depending on which book you're using. A lot of times you get an offer like, something, no money, money back or something. But just the 2-leg, Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, just to each have a triple double in the game. That is plus 1,100. So, 0.1 unit returns a full unit back on that bet. And you can place as many points as you want. 0.2 would be 2 units, 0.3, 3 units, and so forth. So I think it's worth the wager, especially if you get some kind of no sweat bet or something like that. It's definitely worth it. And, it's not impossible. Like, Luka's he's got a 50% success rate going on right now. And Nikolai's got, a little under that. So it's very achievable. It's a fun bet to root for because you kind of can see it going throughout the game. And then I'd say it's up there. It's probably the top 3 most difficult thing to do in a team sport. I would say it's up there with the top. I'll be lenient and say top 5 because I don't know what's going on in cricket or, some of these other sports, but it's the top 5 beat. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Coach.
I mean, I'm going to say too, I got one listed for Luka too. So it's just, even if you don't want to go that far, Luka over assist at 8.5 is at minus 106 on BetUS right now. It's probably similar on other sites. He's averaging 9.8 so far this year. He's hit that in 3 out of 4 games. So even if you don't want to go as far as the triple double, that's still pretty good money coming in there.
Yeah, for 9 assists. And Kyrie, I think, is playing. I'm not sure. Last I saw,
he's questionable last I seen, but
yeah, last I saw
he'll
too.
Probably get. They've been announcing him later in the day or closer to game time a lot of the time, so he'll probably try to go through shoot around, see how he feels at that point in time, I would guess.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know, that might hurt Luka, but not his assist line, so that could be another option. What else you guys got?
but it's somebody else that can score. So if he throws the ball to him, he could get some extra assists that way too. So you got some give and take there.
Yeah, it does help the assist line.
I was going to say, just going back to Mikal Bridges real quick too. I had him listed. One of the ones that really stood out to me today is over 1.5 3-pointers made for Mikal Bridges is plus 127 on BetUS. Plus money. He's averaging 1.5 made this year. Last year, he averaged 2.5 made per game. He's hit it in 2 out of 4 games this year. So at plus money, that looks pretty appealing.
Yeah, that sounds like one right up my alley right there. That's what I love right there. So, and I don't know where Chicago is at this year against the 3-ball, but I know last year they were one of the worst teams, allowing one of the highest percentages. So I like that.
It's the Bulls. They don't play defense anyways. So, I mean, I still like Ben Simmons in that game too. I got his over 9.5 rebounds is at plus 106. He's averaging 10.3 this year, and he's hit that in every single game. He's at least 10 rebounds in, which we've talked about the Bulls not rebounding well anyways. I had his assist over 7.5. He's averaging 7.5 on the season. It's at plus 100, so even money. He's hitting in 3 out of the 4 games, so he's looking pretty good there. If you want to do like points plus rebounds plus assists, you could probably take that as well. But or if you just want to take his rebounds plus his assists there together and kind of parlay it, looks pretty good. Let's see. Just since we talked about the Nuggets game a little bit too, I think Aaron Gordon over 2.5 assists is a little bit interesting. He really hasn't played that great so far this year. He's usually one of those guys that kind of does things when the ball's in his hand. He's at 2.8 assists per game, which is pretty down for him. So he's only hit over 2 out of the 5 games this season, but it's at minus 102. So it's pretty decent odds.
Yeah. Evan, what you got? Any other NBA bets tonight?
Nah, that's pretty much all I got for now. I'm sure I'll have something before the games kick off. There's way too much time between now and then to probably leave all that I have now. I'll be bored. So, I'll have to mess around a little. But I like that Ben Simmons play, too. I looked at that and kind of how I mentioned with the Sarge play, taking that second rebounder. I mean, Simmons, 10 straight, in 4 games. I mean, he's been impressive on the glass. So, yeah, I looked at that, too. He almost hit that triple-double you brought up the other night, Coach. I don't know if you laid anything on that, but he was right there. I was tracking that, so.
I think what I bet it at. I bet it at like getting at least like 10 rebounds, at least 7 or 8 assists, and like at least 7 points, I think is what I ended up betting at, just because make it a little bit safer. There's one other guy. Did you still have any more bets for NBA, Iggy?
I was just gonna say, Portland. I want a same game. Look at DeAndre Ayton's rebound with Portland to win, because, or if you just want to cover the spread, that's cool with me because they're underdogs at home. But it's he's averaging a rebound every 2 minutes. He's the leading rebounder in the NBA right now. He's only played 140 minutes too. So and he's playing more minutes lately. His last 2 games they've won. He's played 32 minutes and 33 minutes. All right. So, and he has 70 rebounds. He's had 23 rebounds and 11 rebounds the past 2 games. All right. Memphis, we talked about it. Not a true center over there. Go take a look at that. That could be worth your look on the same game. You could probably get fantastic odds on that.
Yeah. Otherwise, I do have one guy left for NBA. So it's Tyus Jones for the Washington Wizards. His P is points plus rebounds plus assists tonight is at 18.5, which is stupid low anyways. It's at minus 126 over at BetUS right now. He's averaging 19.9 on the season. He's hit this total 3 out of his 4 games on the season. And like one game that he didn't hit is like when they got massively blown out. And then if you even think this game is going to be remotely close at all and you want to bet on his double-double, it's at plus 1,227. So if you think he can get 10 assists and 10 points and this game remains somewhat close, because he has not played over 28 minutes so far this year, because none of their games have been competitive. But there's a small chance this game tonight is competitive. And if you get 32 to 33 minutes out of him instead of 28, you might get that double-double. So if you want to throw $1 on that, returns pretty decent odds at that point,
Like that.
That is nice. What do you got for the NFL then? We'll go ahead and switch over, guys. Like I said, we'll try to get this show at least 45 minutes in and talk about it, man. More bets you put out there, the more odds you are to not hit a ball. But we just love bringing you guys bets so much, and just remember to keep betting responsibly. Okay, that's a big part of it. But Evan, lead us into the NFL, my man.
All right, man. Well, let's start with an under. I've been trying to keep one under at least, coming out. I love the overs like we all do. But Rachaad White, man, he's been money on that under rushing yards. Even last week when he hit like 35 early, I was like, oh, man, that thing's cooked. He still stayed under 47.5, the way the game played out. They got the Texans. His line's at 49.5. I think it might have just moved to 50.5 where I'm at, but under there at -125. I think this Texans team, they're still solid against the run overall. I mean, I think they're 10th in yards per game. There's one or two games that have kind of skewed that, but overall they've contained the running backs. And let's look at Tampa Bay, man. Rachaad White has been huge in the passing game. 6 catches, 7 catches. Houston is susceptible more to the pass. If you look at yards per game, Baker's been slinging it around. I just don't see Rachaad White getting those 13, 14, 15, 16 carries for a guy that averages 3.3 yards a carry, and I put all that together. I just got to stay true to that under, and it's hit, 4 straight games for me. So I'm going to go back to that well until I see Rachaad White.
Well, baby.
Until he hits 15 carries and 4 yards a carry, I'm going to play that number because he's just not doing it. And Tampa's gone more away from him. And he's had 60 and 70 yards through the air. So that's something that's opened the game up for them. So give me Rachaad White under 49.5.
Man, it's been the well for you. It is a very consistent bet. I'm going to have to hop on that with you. We'll see. 5th time's the charm, right? We'll keep it going, man. Craig, what do you got? What's your favorite NFL bet tonight?
I'll say too with your Rachaad White bet for the Texans, their main run stuffing defensive tackle, Sheldon Rankins, he missed last week. He's been able to practice limited last 2 days, so there's a decent chance that he's back this week. In terms of NFLs, I really just looked at 2 money lines. I didn't have as much time to dig into props at this point. The 2 money lines that I like at plus money right now are Commanders plus 140 versus the Patriots. That game is in New England though, but that game's kind of a crapshoot between the 2 teams. Which one's going to show up that day? Commanders did trade away their defensive ends, but that Patriots line still hasn't been that great either way. This is a game that could be, might end up a shootout. It might end up being 6-9. So we'll see what that ultimately looks like. And then the other one that I kind of looked at was the Bills at plus money versus the Cincinnati Bengals at 110 right now.
That's going to be an interesting game to watch, man. I don't know. I think Cincinnati's in a rhythm. I'm thinking about putting a futures bet on them. Because here's something, guys. Let me just bring this up real quick. Let's break it down on everything that has happened as of late. The Las Vegas Golden Knights won their first championship of franchise history, right? Or Stanley Cup in franchise history, right? The Denver Nuggets won their first championship in franchise history. The Texas Rangers won their first championship in franchise history. I just feel like it's going to be a football team that does the same. Bengals, Bills, neither one of them have won it. AFC so crowded. Oh, man, I think that's going to be an amazing, amazing game. I can't wait. I'm going to bring it back to the game in Almania, Germany, Deutschland, whatever you want to call it, man. It is over there in Frankfurt. It's going to be a nice early, 6:30 for Evan, 7:30 for me, and 8:30 for Coach. Wake up, pour yourself a milk, grab yourself some cookies, and just watch the game, man. And it's going to be amazing. And I think there's 2 props. They're not even giving me any Dolphins props, but we don't know if Philly Gay's in. He could be out for the Chiefs. So Drew Tranquill over 6.5 tackles is at -150. Justin Reed over 4.5 is at -125. I mean, the Dolphins are just a high-tempo offense. They're going to run the ball a lot. They're going to pass it a lot. Reed and Tranquill are going to just be forced to have to make plays, essentially, because they do run some Tyreek Hill up the sideline, but they run a lot of just short intermediate routes for Tua to just 1-2 Reed, okay, out, 1-2 Reed out. And that'll favor Reed, that'll favor Tranquill. So Tranquill's over 6.5, -150 right now. Justin Reed's over 4.5, -125. I honestly think you could take both of those. If you can same game parlay it later, go ahead. But I like those for individual props. Evan, back to you. What do you got, man?
Yeah, so let's piggyback on Rachaad White real quick, and let's take an over on those reception yards. I mean, I pretty much just stated why we would do that, going under the other yards. He's had 6 catches, 7 catches, 60 yards, 70 yards. I mean, it's a way to open up the passing game, right? It's something that, I believe in the NFL, using that running back in the passing game is huge. And Tampa Bay started to have some success. You can see his quickness in the open field when they do use him, right? He's not getting that running attack, but he is getting that. So 27.5 reception yards at -125. I would expect him to be targeted 6, 7+ times again. Hit that 3, 4, 5 reception mark easy, right? I mean, hard to expect that he hits 7 or 8 catches every week, but give me 3 to 4 catches, break one for a few, find 28 yards there. So I really like that play too. We'll just go the opposite of the rushing, right?
Yeah.
And I like the Cowboys money line, +130. I'm big on the Cowboys this week. I think that they're playing well right now. I think the offense matches up greatly. I got some props there too, but I think they match up well with Philadelphia. I mean, they've scored, Dak's had 44 points in his last 3 starts against them. Their passing defense is not good. Lamb is clicking. Ferguson's got a good matchup. I think Dallas at +130 is a nice plus money line play as well. So what do you guys think on Dallas, Philadelphia for winners? Dallas, Philadelphia, Buffalo, Cincinnati, KC, Miami. Who do you guys got in those games?
Those are tough. I guess I got to go Philadelphia, Cincinnati, and then I'll go. Yeah, that's a tough one. Guess I'll go Miami.
Yeah, I was looking at like the money line for Miami too, because I think that was +110 too. But I think Chiefs and Arrowhead are so hard to beat, though.
It's
even though they've been playing. Oh yeah, that's right. I was just looking at it because it says at Kansas City too. So God, Miami might have a better advantage there. It'd be interesting to see which team went over there sooner too. But it's easier to fly international out of Miami than it is out of Kansas City. Because like go to the Miami airport, you just fly international wherever you want, pretty much. So that is a factor. It'd be interesting to see which team gets over there first and kind of who's all prepared and whatnot. But I don't. Did you guys see? I think it was yesterday. Tyreek Hill was saying the best player on their team is the fullback Alec Ingold.
Yeah. I saw that.
That is pretty good, dude. Yeah, that's good. Those are tough matches you chose right there. It's gonna be pretty close to figure it out. I think this is a brutal eliminator week for a lot of people. I mean, I think the only for sure lob, just go ahead and just say it's a win, is the Saints.
That's where I was going when you said that. That was where my mind went. The Saints.
I mean, I think it's the only, and trusting the Saints who are 4-4 with Carr. I mean, that's kind of crazy to say. I mean, the Ravens have a huge money line against Seattle. They should take care of them, but Seattle's not a slouch. Pete Carroll's not a slouch. Cleveland has a huge money line over Arizona. That's just a trash bowl. You don't know, because look, all these over or unders are like 44 or under. There's there's only one. There's 250 games. Buffalo, Cincinnati, Kansas City Dolphins. The rest, a lot of them are 41, 37.5, 37, 40, 38.5. I think Stafford wants to play against the Packers because he knows this is his last season. And I think him as a Detroit Lions player, like all those years, I think it's like a little bit of nostalgia for him, because I don't know why they haven't rolled him out. Like his throwing hand UCL sprain, like I don't know what's going on there, but that's a garbage game too. I don't know what to think about that game or what to expect. So there's a lot of not knowing what's going on there right now. I do like one game that's kind of tight though, that I do want to throw it, just say go ahead and take it. I think the Chargers at -180 against the Jets. I think that's a good game to get under -200. I've never complained about that. I think they got a good chance to do that. I think Justin Herbert actually does play well under the bright lights. So we'll see what's going on against that defense. But yeah, other than that, the Saints kind of the only lock to me there, and I got them in so many eliminators, so they have to win. We'll just have to see. If I tried to build a parlay, I think that would be my parlay. Saints, what that comes in at. It's probably not great money, but it's going to be plus money probably. Maybe not, but right at it. negative 106. So not bad if you wanted the Chargers and the Saints on a parlay. Coach, what else you got?
I don't have much else for NFL. Like I said, didn't have too much time to dig into the props for that. But, even in parlaying those two together, I would just rather take my odds on one of the plus 110 teams to win, I think.
I get the strategy, I totally get it.
It's just a weird week too. And even when you're saying with Stafford, it's Stafford's the type of guy, if you let him play, he will play. He went out there and played with the Lions there one year, 4 weeks on a broken back.
Yeah.
And he was still throwing over 300 yards a game.
He had that play. He went back out there where his arm was just dangling right on the 2-point conversion or whatever. I mean, it just, the guy is a warrior. And I mean, it's at Green Bay too, right?
Yeah, it's at Lambeau.
So, one more trip back, not just the Packers, but one more trip back to Lambeau. I mean, the nostalgia, the times they've played, being in Lambeau, starting to get cold. He's chomping at the bit for that. I mean, he'll play out there on a walker, dude. I mean,
yeah, I think it's definitely his last go around. He might come back one more year. I don't know.
Did they say he just sprained the ligament, or did he have a partial tear too, or not?
I think he sprained it. He sprained it, but still, it's right here, right? It's the ligament that goes that allows your thumb to move. So
yeah. Because I know if it's a partial, even if it's a partial tear and you have that surgery, it's 4 to 6 weeks that you miss. That's what Anthony Simons just had. Bam Adebayo had it a couple years ago. Sabonis played through it last year for forever, and I'm just just don't play him in DFS because it just messes you up so much without he's essentially he was playing without a thumb.
Oof. In basketball, yes, it's tough.
At least Stafford could turn it around and, hand it off to Henderson and Freeman for 40 times, maybe, and run on that Packer defense possibly. But basketball, you can't do that.
Every time.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't know, man. But I guess if there's one guy that can do it, it might be Matthew Stafford.
Oh, yeah, I don't know, dude. That would be tough, man. Yeah, he's a tough dude, though. No doubt about it. Yeah,
a lot of toss plays.
Yeah, that would work as well. Let's just close it out with a touchdown score. Let's build either 2 or 3 if we feel good about it. We'll close out the show. I'll read off the odds. But who do y'all think is scoring a touchdown? I hit on Derrick Henry last night. Felt good about it. He's Mr. Thursday. But any game y'all want, what do y'all want to hear? Who do you think is going to score a touchdown in a game? We'll just add some legs to it.
Hold on real quick. I'm going to bring up – I got to find my matchup chart, so you guys talk while I do that.
Okay, I'm going to try to think who's got a bad defense. I think Devontae Adams might score a touchdown this week. Where is he playing at? Is he on bye week?
No,
they're playing the Giants.
They're playing Giants.
Shoot, that's doable.
That's a very good matchup.
So one guy that I think this week might be a nice play, the money's probably good on him, is Olave. I know it's scary. I don't know if I would do it. I do like CeeDee Lamb to find the end zone, which is a much safer play in that matchup. A lot of fantasy guys, though, are benching Olave this week, and I'm just going to use this as a fantasy plug here. Don't bench Olave against the Bears. They're at home. Unless you've got a really great option, I'm not sitting him on my fantasy team. But I do love CeeDee Lamb to get in the end zone.
Dude, CeeDee Lamb's at plus 125, and he has a 44% target share. 44% target share.
He's a matchup nightmare for almost. He's a matchup nightmare for almost every team.
Philadelphia secondary stuff. You can't run on Philadelphia.
No, you can't run, and Dallas hasn't been running that well anyway. I mean, and CeeDee Lamb there's not many matchups you're going to say are bad for him, but this is an even, exceptional one for him to just torch. And Dak and him have been on the last 2 weeks. They're feeding CD after that one game where he didn't really get involved. I just don't see why they go away from that.
Every player in the Packers Rams game is at plus money.
What are the odds on Michael Pittman Jr. this week?
I was looking at that. Let me see. Pittman is at plus 165 anytime.
Because he's got a decent matchup.
Yeah, no.
Like all the guys that I'm looking at right now that have decent matchups, it's like I don't want to touch any of them.
Yeah, I mean Carolina's out there with their third and fourth string cornerbacks.
No, Deontay Jackson's still playing, but it's him and Henderson, and then They have like no slot. Oh, well, I guess Troy Hill's there, but he's not playing a lot of snaps.
Yeah,
and
Houston let me down
Well,
last
I'll tell
week.
you right now. CD Lamb, Devontae Adams. CD Lamb and Devontae Adams right now is at plus 485. If we put Pittman on that for a 3 wide receiver 1 TD, that comes in at plus 1450, man. That's insane.
What's the odds on Keenan Allen right now? I don't mind that one versus Michael Carter the second in the slot.
They got him on Monday. Sometimes they hold off a little. Let's see. Keenan Allen is at, I've been riding him for a touchdown too. Plus 150, man.
That's not bad versus Michael Carter the second in the slot.
Man, yeah, they won't put sauce on him at all. You don't think?
No, sauce don't they do not shadow.
Yeah, that's right. He just plays.
Well, like when you have Sauce and DJ Reed on the outside, there's no reason to shadow because DJ Reed is like the most underrated corner in the league. He talks a lot of shit though.
And that Olave, I see Olave at plus 170, but if you do like the passing matchup in that game and are a little scared of that, they've targeted Shaheed deep down the field, and Chicago's susceptible to that. Shaheed is plus 290 on my end for an anytime touchdown.
He's banged up though, right?
A little bit, but it sounds like he's good to go. I mean, they're going to take their shots. I mean, somebody, I don't know, somebody on the Saints receiving core's got to get in the end zone.
What's the odds on anytime touchdown for Breece Hall though? Because that's a good one versus the Chargers too. And
he's like negative 110. That's pretty good too.
Yeah.
Breece is, let's see, that's Monday night.
I'm trying to get there. It's way down there.
He's that's funny. I looked real quick at it and I saw Bryce Huff right below him, and it was plus 1680. I'm like, what? But Breece Hall is plus 120.
Yeah, plus 120. That's pretty good odds for him, though.
They've been using him in the passing game a lot too. I mean, there's a lot of action for him. He should see the ball in his hands a lot. I mean, the Chargers' run defense has been a little better. I don't know if they've played as good of an opponent as Breece Hall, but I would say, coming from a Charger fan's perspective, Breece Hall to see the end zone is pretty likely.
Yeah, I've been using his anytime touchdown a lot as like just a price picks filler one for NFL stuff last couple weeks. So,
all right, so we're doing what? Devontae, CD, and
let's take Devontae off. Let's take him off. We're taking Devontae off. We're taking CD. We got Michael Pittman. Is that going to be yours, Coach? What do you want your final answer?
Breece Hall will be mine.
Okay.
I like the matchup for Pittman, but then at the same time, it's like Minshew just loves downs so much.
Plus, Carolina's so bad against the run. I mean, JT and Moss could both go for a hundo. I mean, if they want to just, do that.
I went with JT anytime touchdown scorer last week, and he let me down. Otherwise, I'd do it again this week. But I'm just like, yeah.
All right, and then I'm gonna throw. Let me see. Who else do I want on here? Because I had Devontae. I'm backing off of that.
Not riding the Aiden O'Connell train.
Yeah, I got kind of nervous about the wide quarterback for sure.
How about the Raiders? I mean, they benched Jimmy G, and then the next day they put out a happy birthday post.
We don't hate you completely.
You know what? I don't know. New York they're pretty bad all the way around, They're pretty bad. You know what? I'll just go with the hot hand here. I'm going Taysom Hill.
Woo!
What's his odds at nowadays?
Plus 175.
Man,
terrible.
Hey, I picked him up in a couple leagues to play at tight end this week. So, I mean,
I had him at quarterback, and then I went and picked up Heineke, and I went and picked up O'Connell. So, who would you rather have a quarterback, Hill, O'Connell, or Heineke?
I think it's Heineke.
Is Atlanta? Who's Atlanta playing this week? Are they Minnesota? Oh yeah, Minnesota.
That's the biggest crapshoot. Like nobody can tell me they know it's going to happen in that game. Nobody.
Yeah, I mean Minnesota. Yeah, that is a tough one. I don't know, man. Heineke scares me, but I mean he's going to be throwing the ball, and there's a chance that Hill just doesn't. He can easily have that nothing kind of game. But he's been so involved lately. I think I'd have to go Heineke, but I'm not surprised if Hill's the leading scorer of that bunch.
Well, our parlay, our touchdown parlay is 1,230 odds. So
Cool.
it's hard to get one touchdown correctly, much less 3 people out there. But I mean, we're going with it. So it ended up being we were going to do a wide receiver 1. We ended up going a running back, a wide receiver, and a slash.
Wildcat.
Yeah, the
Maybe it's
tight end.
better that way. Mix it up a little bit. But hey, we each only have to get one right in this case. So
yeah, exactly. We just got to do our part. So I'm going to put some wager on that when we get off. That'll be our live bet. Anything else you guys want to say before we get out of here?
No, man, good show. Happy to have Coach on. Give another element to it, man. Thanks for joining us today, Coach. Hopefully we'll be on some more Fridays with us.
Are you going back to campus today?
Yeah, eventually I gotta figure out who I want to talk about for a prospect this week. That's kind of been my biggest thing. I'm like, I got everything else done. I'm like, I don't know which prospect I want to talk about though. And the college bets this week are not nice. I'm just like, we're gonna take this one and I hope it pays off. But I'm like, I would not bet very much this week on
that real quickly. Where are you on Bama LSU? Bama -3, I believe.
I wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah.
Either way, like it's just a game I wouldn't touch. There's a lot of games like that this week. It's like my game of the week will be Washington at USC. See if USC can bounce back. The over under in that game is 76.5 points.
SC's defense is trash.
Terrible.
Oh, that's so funny, man. Yeah,
it's awful, man. They cannot stop anybody. I mean, they can't.
Well, they still get a lot of national media attention. I mean, Pac-12 is literally about to dissipate, and it's still getting so much coverage, dude. But all right, well, yeah, let's get out of here. Remember to bet smart. We will get those bets up for you guys. Busy Friday. A lot of great stuff going on this weekend. All bets are subject to new data, depending on who could go in, who could go out. Always remember that. Bet smart and be lucky. And we'll see you guys next week. Remember to check out Coach Goes to Campus. It should be out, some point today. All right, guys. I'll see you later, and take care. Pull up the brain.